What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our first episode of July 2023. It is July 3rd, everybody. Monday morning. Happy 4th of July Eve to all of you Americans out there, to all of our friends and fans that are British. Sorry, but we're
Dang.
America. Number one. You couldn't hold us down, and that's what we're remembering tomorrow. Specifically talking to Alex Green. The rest of you Brits, I love you. You guys are awesome. Alex Green, take that. That's all I have to say. Guys, we got a lot to talk about in this episode. As that title suggests, we're going to be looking at four, maybe more than four, but definitely four massive bullish signals on Bitcoin. And I'm not talking about on the hourly chart or the 15-minute chart that maybe we get a nice little 2% pump. I'm talking about macro TA long-term bullish signals that you definitely want to see. So make sure you watch the TA section. We'll also talk about a lot of other things, not necessarily a heavy news day, but we will break down what didn't happen, and that is this rumor about Gary Gensler resigning from the SEC. We're going to break down where that rumor came from, give you guys a tip on someone on Twitter not to follow and to pay attention to, but maybe even talk about, well, with this rumor coming back up, at what point will we maybe possibly get rid of the lizard man Gary Gensler from the SEC? We'll discuss that and a whole lot more. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button right now for the free price of free. And if you guys watch and you love this show, you love the Investing Bros, consider subscribing to the channel. We just got over 3,500 subscribers, and yes, we did not get to our goal of 4,000 by the end of June, but I do believe we can get there by the end of July, but we need your help. Please consider hitting that subscribe button if you have not already. And if you have hit that subscribe button, consider making about 6 or 7 new YouTube accounts and hitting the subscribe button with those as well. Just kidding, but for real. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into the show here. I got two fantastic co-hosts joining me. First, the Florida man, Mr. T. Shroom. How are you doing this morning, old Shroomy?
Well, I'm better than I deserve. We've got a lot of crazy news to cover. I'm excited to bring it to you guys. I was very sad to see that Gary Gensler was not indeed resigning, because that was something that I've been really hoping for. I was hoping that would really happen. Maybe I'll get it for my birthday in December. Hopefully we will not have to wait that long. But Tim, you've got a great quote of the day. Let's go ahead and see what that's all about.
Well, you got to go the route. That's T. Shroom screen, a great little Elon Musk thing. You got to go with the good Michael Scott 4th of July quote. And I don't know if this is a quote from a 4th of July episode, but it is about America. And that's what we're celebrating tomorrow. That's what America is built on. Big ideas, blue jeans, the Grand Canyon, and an antacid that you only take once a week. America, from Michael Scott.
That's good.
There definitely are better quotes from him about America, like the episode where he's discussing that he saw the stuff about China growing. There's some good quotes in that one too. But when you do a quick Google search of Michael Scott 4th of July quote, this was what came up. So I still love it, still like it. We also are joined this morning by the Texas man, Mr. Army Piper, who no longer is an Army Piper, but a civilian Piper. Are we changing the name? Or what are we doing? Like, what's going on with this?
No, we're going to stick with Army Piper. The name has been branded. I couldn't escape it now if I tried. I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Should I change my name? And if I change my name, what should it be? Just put like a Y in the name or a no and just leave it at that.
There we go.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Y as in the letter Y as in yes, not the word Y. I want to specify. But I'm doing great, Tim. I'm doing great.
Good. What are you, before we get into this, what are our plans for the 4th of July? You know, I'll start with mine. I don't know what's going to happen. Originally, I think most people here at Hit Network were supposed to go to TJ's for the 4th of July. And I'm not going to say anything about why, but there's a chance that gets canceled. Some of you who know might have an inside clue as to why that is. I don't know for factually. I don't want to spread any false rumors. I just know from my wife there's an outside chance that we don't have plans for the 4th of July. What about you guys? What are you guys doing?
Go ahead, Tisha.
Oh, man. I'm going to be rocking this shirt tomorrow. I'm not going to wash it. And I'm going to be going out with my buddy, one of my friends who's actually in the Army Reserves. and his wife, and we're going to be going to see some fireworks, going to grill up some hot dogs at the casa, and we're going to be reminiscing on some of the great turning points of American wars.
No, I was literally, as you were saying what you're eating, my brain was like, we need to put a poll up here, and we need to get which one is the better one. My brain was saying hot dogs or burgers. So, what are you guys eating for the 4th of July? Hot dogs, and then I'm not going to give an other's choice. You guys have to either eat hot dogs or burgers. So, my apologies to people like Matt C who are vegetarians, but unfortunately, you have
No,
to.
well,
choose
there's
hot
a
dogs or
really
burgers.
good veggie burger, that Impossible Burger or whatever it's called.
No, we're not gonna.
No,
I
Nope,
like it.
no.
nope, nope,
Sorry, I'm gonna have to go in here and remove T Shroom's
nope.
camera from the stream.
We're not doing. Listen, if you guys, no offense to anyone who eats veggie burgers, good for you for thinking that you're being healthy. But for this poll, we're just doing hot dogs or burgers. And if you feel like you want to relate to a burger with a veggie burger, be my guest. But you got to vote on one of the two of those. Piper, what about you? What are you doing for the 4th of July?
So my mother-in-law is visiting, so I'll be hanging out with her, and we'll be
Okay.
sitting here in our backyard overlooking the valley, watching everyone else's fireworks from our backyard. And I might have Crux coming over. He just said in here, because I'm making steaks, I went and bought a whole big pack of USDA Prime filet mignons to grill up, and some bacon wrapped asparagus, some baked potatoes. So.
Listen, I might, with my new unveiled plans, make a road trip to El Paso.
Come on out, man. Come on out.
So that sounds
But
good.
today,
Go ahead,
today I have an appointment to go get my retiree ID card so I can go. I'm retired, So that's what plans are today.
That's called freedom on Freedom Day.
Freedom, baby.
Free military. It's a confusing
While I
thing.
do a show talking about freedom money.
Free
I
money.
love it.
Yes.
Love it.
This is the week of freedom for Mr. Piper. Go ahead in chat. Let us know what you guys are doing for the 4th of July. And I want to know how many of our viewers are from the UK, from England. Go ahead and post an L in chat if you're from England for the 4th of July, since you took one so hard just a little bit over 200 years ago. We're going to go ahead and get in here and read some names, though. And we're going to start off. I put that poll up there, so technically I can't see the first comments, but I remember who it was. Mr. Mellow Fellow was first with the high, and Mike Lowry tried slipping in with the simple E, but he didn't quite get in there first. But shout out to both of them for being first and second. Piper was not far behind. I got a lot of blue wrenches here early in chat. A Mellow Fellow. Now, here we go. A Mellow Fellow made another comment. He said grip strength. And a lot of people probably looked at that and were like, what the heck is happening? Why did he just type grip strength? Well, if you guys watch those afternoon recaps, which have been great, we have an editor. His name is Isaac, has been doing a phenomenal job just cutting up some places in the stream so that anyone who either missed a stream or wants to go back and get some important details, you guys can go watch those. At the end of it, though, T-Shroom says, like, if you are watching this and enjoying this, say this secret word for a special shout out. And the secret word most recently was grip strength. So shout out to a Mellow Fellow, not only for being first, but for watching those afternoon videos all the way to the end and seeing what the shout out word was. I just hit back accidentally, so I got to kind of regroup here. But that took me a second, and I think I lost a lot. All right, guys, I have a very tragic thing. I lost a lot of names because I accidentally refreshed the page. So this day, for real, if I don't read your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's because I hit refresh on the page and I don't have an old chat. Other names in here. Crypto Trades is here. Chaos Incorporated. Yeah, love it. Love it. Average Crypto Joe is here. Crypto Ben Franklin, everyone's favorite non-president on the 4th of July Eve, saying good morning, everyone. Y'all ready for Independence Day? You know we are, Ben Franklin. Just deal with those skeletons in the basement and let's not hear about it anymore. Crimson Caravan Company is also here. Special shout out to Jetty from the blockchain is here. Philly Skills 1428, Brian D, Crypto Seth. Shout out to Crypto Seth, guys. Phenomenal show on Friday with him. And that's because, guys, from now on, every single Friday, in case you haven't heard, it's D-Gen Friday. So you'll get the likes of Crypto Seth and Crypto Archie and other people from the Gem Hunters are going to always come bring the alpha on Fridays. Make sure you don't miss it. Who else do we have here? Stay Calm is here. Talking about Pepe the Frog. By the way, Pepe the Frog up this morning. It's one of the cryptos with the biggest gains. Jason Marchant, Marcant. What, I don't know which one that's pronounced as. Haven't read that name, but love to see you here. Put Gary in jail. I don't know if it's going to happen, but that'd be a nice dream to have at night. Crux of Crypto with the Blue Wrench is here. Let's see who else. Steven Murillo. Ronnie. Welcome, Ronnie. Let's get like 5 more names, and then we're going to move on here. 5 fresh names. Elo Brown with the Blue Wrench is here. Remington Peralt is here. That's 2. 88 Ace is here. 3. Crypto JMP is here. And the last one I'm going to read, although I see 2 of them, so I'm going to make an exception. Mike Bennett saying eat everything. Yes. And Carmelo Fernandez saying hot dogs on hamburgers, why choose? Wow. Okay. So you're a both type of guy. That's not how polls work, though, Carmelo. You got to choose one. I appreciate the concept of eating both. But in the case of you have to choose one, you got to only choose one. What are you voting? Guys, again, if I didn't read your name, because I see there's a lot more names in here, and you guys are so phenomenal. We're already a little bit behind in the show flow, though, today. So I love you guys. Come back in on Wednesday. We're not going to have a show tomorrow on the 4th of July, but come back in Wednesday, get in here early, and I will hopefully be able to read your names. With that said, though, Piper, it is time for the economic update on this nice 3rd of July. What are we seeing this week and possibly leading into next week?
So coming in this week, Tim, we got fireworks, lots of fireworks, but not on the macroeconomic side, kind of quiet. Check it out here. ISM Manufacturing PMI coming in today at 8 a.m. my time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not a big factor in the upcoming rate hikes that we possibly are looking at. But Wednesday, nothing tomorrow. Federal holiday here in the U.S. Banks are closed. That's why we have no show tomorrow. But I do want to point out FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday. This is going to be the detailed transcript from the last FOMC meeting for June. We're going to get to see what's actually in there. And some people way smarter than me will be digging through, trying to predict what these words mean. You know, those little squiggly characters called letters form words have meaning. Someone's going to break all that down and see if there was any hidden messaging from old Jerome Powell and the rest of the Federal Reserve on the rate hikes. Maybe get some insight to what we might see for the next FOMC rate meeting. So looking at Thursday, July 6th, we've got balance of trade in May, not a major factor to come into play. However, JOLTS job openings, that's a big one. That is a precursor into how many jobs are available. And that is going to be coming in right now. Currently, it's at 10.1 million jobs are available from May. We will see what was available for June. Right now, it's projected to be less jobs available. So watch that. 0.2. I know it looks like not, 10 to 1 to 9, but here it's really only 0.2% difference, or 0.2 million jobs difference. So, but the unemployment rate, that will be coming in. And as of right now, it looks like consensus says unemployment rate will be even lower by 0.1%, forecasted to be neutral to what we're currently sitting at. So watch that for Friday. And then watch those job openings for there. Nothing else going on the rest of the week. And then we go into next Monday, starting with all kinds of Fed speeches. So that's what's going on there. Let's jump over to Trueflation. Guys, Trueflation's down to 2.22%. It is actually up 1/100% from yesterday, but currently coming in at almost that 2% goal that the Federal Reserve wants to be at, even though they're saying that we're only at 4. By old methodology, we are sitting better than expected. I showed you guys this last week. I just want to show you this again, just to give an idea of how they rank this data versus the new methodology. In the UK, they're saying they're at 8.7%, and it actually shows Trueflation at 11.11. So there was a time when our rate was much higher on the Trueflation than what they were saying from the federal government. And that is what we're seeing in other countries out there also. But right now in the U.S., not the case. So we are coming in at almost a 2% level that they want to get to. So looking at the liquidations here real fast, guys, in the past 24 hours, 65, almost 66% or 66 million, I should say, wrecked on trades. Ethereum having a lot of short liquidations, 13.6 million, because Ethereum just has done quite well this past weekend. And then Bitcoin coming in with more longs than shorts, but almost equal, only about a half a million, only about a half a million difference between longs and shorts. OKX coming in with the biggest 24-hour liquidation levels of all of the exchanges. So, Tim, let's kick it over to you. Let's check out those FOMC numbers.
Yeah, well, real quick, I want to give a shout out to UKM for posting L. Listen, he's owning it. He's the only one I'm seeing own it from England. Listen, here's the thing, guys. It's 4th of July. We got to brag, us Americans. When it comes to soccer season, and we got to call it for you guys football season, even though American football is the real football. You guys own that one. So you know what? You guys can cheer during World Cups and when America plays England in soccer. But when it comes to the 4th of July,
Tim,
we won this one. We won this one.
Tim, I got to
Yeah.
tell you, being as worldly and as well traveled as I am,
Yeah.
most people around the world think that we brag regardless of the date of the month. So,
Wow.
just so you know,
I
they do.
don't know what they're talking about. Americans are some of the most quiet, humble, and reserved people in the entire world. In fact,
right.
we're the best at humility, I would imagine. Roughly, I would say
I'll
none
shout that
even
from the
close.
rooftops.
Yeah, we are humble. America, we're the best at humble, and that's why we're number one at everything. Anyway, we're gonna keep moving on here. FOMC predictions, guys, right where we left it last week. 87% saying we are going to get another rate hike. Can I scroll here a little bit, guys? There we go. 525 to 550. There still is no prediction, though, of getting above this. I think in December, do we get close in December? 30% saying another rate hike. No, not really. Is it November we get close? 34% in November. What is it? Yeah, not even close. So they're not expecting a September rate hike. They're still expecting at this point May to be the first pivot. Not a high prediction here, guys, 34%. But that is the expected time at this point from the CME futures. But predicting that we're going to finally get a rate cut in May of 2024. Either way you look at it, though, they're still not believing Jerome Powell that we're going to get 2 more rate hikes and no cuts for the next 2 years. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. This morning, sitting up at 62. Yesterday, we did get to 63 briefly. Of course, this is not as high as what we had before here a couple of weeks ago at 65. So again, I would say despite the fact that we are in the greed on the fear and greed index, I actually kind of like where we're sitting at when it comes to the price action to this ratio. I still believe, though, guys, we're looking at another good rally followed by another pullback back down at least to 30K. Again, I'm thinking we're rallying to 36, maybe 42, pull back down to 30K, possibly down to 25. Disaster strikes, you go down to 20 and fill that CME gap. But as a whole, I still believe a dip is coming. But again, I think looking at this kind of plays into my thoughts of, hey, we still have further room to the upside, despite the fact that we are ticking into the greed. But guys, it's time to go ahead and go over into the Bitcoin TA. In case you guys are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you guys are here. Go ahead and smash that like button right now. We got 116 people watching, only 52 likes though. Not a good ratio. Not a good ratio. And unless everyone who's sitting here, I would understand today if the Brits don't want to smash like, as we're about to celebrate their defeat, they don't like that. But if you're American, you should be smashing like button right now pretty easily. And if you want
Hey,
to,
Tim.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I do want to point out that the Brits just passed in their parliament a crypto regulation bill that includes crypto in their financial structure. So,
Well, listen, tell them to get that
just
officially passed on the 4th day of July, and then maybe we have a new 4th of July to celebrate. But until that happens, the 4th of July still belongs to the United States. You should like that if you're an American. And again, if you guys are newer here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are growing very quickly, but I would love your guys' help to get up above 4,000 subscribers before the end of July. All right, so we're getting into the TA here, guys. Special shout out to Chart Prime, though. Let me pull up some of this stuff really quickly here. One of the best indicators. I know that kind of looks chaotic, but one of the best indicators of helping you guys trade. They're a big partner of the channel. Love them, love everything they do, not only for our channel, but it has changed the way I do TA. You guys definitely check out the link down below, or even more specifically, guys, it is the 3rd, which means, Piper, we're going to show this later, but I don't know if you have it ready to go. Right now, there's an opportunity with Chart Prime between yesterday, and it's too late to buy it yesterday, but you can still buy it today, and the 8th. You can actually get lifetime access to Chart Prime, the best trading indicator out there. Act on it now, because again, after the 8th, who knows when the lifetime is coming back. You'll want to take advantage of it right now. We'll show that a little bit later, but special shout out to Chart Prime. I'm going to start off before we jump in. There we go. There's the lifetime access. Maybe I'm on YouTube channel. Oh, no, it's right there live. Okay. Sometimes I go back and forth between Ecamm and invest, and I don't know if I'm on YouTube or that and what's live or not. But back to the TA here, Piper. We're going to cover some macro bullish calls before I jump into some more intimate TA. And we got to go to start this sucker off. We got to go all the way out, guys, to the 6-month chart. All right. Wow. I want to go and log. And this, wow, I gotta change my charts, get more history here. There we go. 6-month chart. Pay no attention to those arrows. They will become significant here in some point down the road. But we're starting off here with the 6-month chart. Not that many candles here, but you will notice as I kind of scroll out here and pull up the original RSI. Yes, we do have to use the original RSI. You guys know I love RSI primed right here. This thing that uses candles. Let me make sure. Let me see. Yeah, I love this, but for the sake of what I'm about to say, it's kind of hard to read it this way. So I'm going to take this down and look at normal RSI. You're going to notice when we go back to Bitcoin, this chart, even though the price actually comes all the way back to July of 2009, there's not that much RSI here, but you will notice something right here. These RSI bottoms are dropping, and the RSI bottoms of price action are rising. So even just going back to this is the bottom of the last bear market. We, of course, are setting higher lows here. We are setting ourselves up for some bullish divergence here on the 6-month RSI. Now, that is bullish. That is great. I understand, though, that's not necessarily the most amazing indicator out there, but it is good to know that not only have we looked at this bottom right here and said this is a good bottom, we're seeing the bullish divergence all the way out in the 6-month chart. That is chart number 1. That is indicator number 1 that is showing us in the macro long-term perspective for Bitcoin, we are looking very bullish. Let's go out to the monthly chart now, and let's pull down this RSI. We do not need it anymore for the rest of this show. Thank you so much, regular old RSI. I want to take a look. Still, pay no attention to these blue arrows. They're coming up here a little bit later. I just want to talk about the months of July. Guys, we had just started Q3 of this year, and it's time to reflect and look at what does the month of July usually look like. Let's go all the way back here to July of 2022. You'll notice here in July of 2022, we're surrounded by a sea of red candles. Yes, this was smack dab in the middle of our bear market, and we got a lot of red in this area, but you'll notice the biggest, greenest candle during this downtrend was July 2022, in which case during this time, I'm not going to do this for all of them, but I just want to take a look at this one because it is special being this bullish in a bear market. We actually had a rally during the month of July of 17%, despite the fact that everything was super bearish and we were going down. So July 2022, nice and bullish. Let's go back to July of 21. Oh, look at this. July of 21 was the resurgence of the Bitcoin bull market after all of the Elon Musk FUD, where Tesla sold their Bitcoin. Everyone thought Bitcoin was crashing. We're going down to 20K. It's over. The bear market is here. Well, no, July restarted the nice bull run that got us to new highs up at 69,000. So the last 2 Julys have absolutely been very nice and bullish. Let's go back to 2020. What was July in 2020 like? All the way back here. Oh, look at that. This was kind of the green candle that kicked off the nice bull market. Yes, technically speaking, we had some green candles before, but we had to use this. This was the pandemic. These candles right here, these 2 right here, was just kind of getting us back up to level playing field after the pandemic had dragged us down so far. July of 2020 kind of got the ball rolling for the real bull market. No, we didn't break through any new highs during that month, but the momentum definitely started in July of 2020. So we're seeing the last 3 of them have absolutely been phenomenal. There was a bearish July, though, guys, back here in 2019. You guys will notice after this pre-bull market rally that we discuss oh so often on this channel, we did have a bearish month of July following June. So there's one outlier right there. But as you keep scrolling back, I'm probably going to be done here at this point, guys. That was June. Let's see, July of 20. Look at that. Green, July of 18. Let's go 2017. I can already tell you because all of the candles right here. July is right here. Boom. July of 17. You keep going back. Historically, more often than not, we do see that July is very bullish for the price of Bitcoin. So that is indicator number 2. You definitely want to be paying attention to. All the signs are kind of pointing there anyway, but you definitely want to take a look at that and say, all right, that is looking kind of nice there for Bitcoin. Indicator number 2 showing us some macro bullish action. But let's stay on the monthly chart to go to indicator number 3, and that is the MACD. The MACD just crossed green, crossed bullish for the first time since all the way back in January of 2022. That was the last time. Actually, technically December 21 was the last time it was green. We crossed bearish in January. Historically, this is actually a very, very bullish indicator. I will say, watch as we kind of repeat and look at some things like what we had back in 2019. We did the same thing back here, May 19, and then June, we crossed bullish, and that was the candle that ended up peaking out in the top of the bull market. I kind of have a sneaky suspicion, guys, that maybe that happens again. Maybe the next couple of months have green histograms, but maybe July, we get a really nice 20-30% rally here in July, and then that's the peak before the real bull market starts later on next year. But other times we've seen this cross, which again, not necessarily too frequently. I gotta really scroll out here because it's kind of skinny as you go back. The price action corresponds very nicely with these bull. Let's see, if that goes to bearish. Boom, right here we got a nice bullish cross. Price goes up. Right, where do we get? Right here. Price, got to scroll back. Right here, we get a bullish cross. Price goes up. Historically, more often than not, guys, when we get a monthly MACD bullish cross, that is another major bullish indicator. That is indicator number 3 that we're looking at right now on the more macro, long-term perspective of Bitcoin, saying, guys, we got a lot of bullish stuff happening. For the 4th and final indicator we're going to look at today, we got to go down to the 5-day chart. And now these blue arrows become very, very important. Let me go ahead and take this down. In fact, I don't even think I need any of my oscillators for this. No, I do not. What are these dates? What do these dates have in common? We got back here around December of 11. We got back here on December of 15. We got right here in May of 19. And we got right here in April 20. Well, all 4 of these arrows have something in common with something that just happened right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the EMAs for you guys. And I want to take a look right now. Is this the right one I want to look at? I believe it is. This is, in case you guys are wondering, the 21-day EMA on the 5-day, 21 5-day EMA, and the 100 5-day EMA. You guys are going to notice that right now, within these last couple candles, we just got what we would call a silver cross. What we usually call a silver cross is because it's not quite a golden cross. Golden cross is when the 50 crosses the 200. This is the 21 over the 100, or even you could say there's another one. You could do the 21 over the 55. I'm going to call both of those silver crosses. We just, within the last couple of candles, got ourselves a nice bullish cross after the blue line. That's that 21 5-day has been below our 100 ever since back in May of 2022. Now, you might be wondering, Tim, why are you bringing this up? Well, that brings us back to our arrows. And these are the times where we've gotten bullish crosses. That one, it almost looks like we bounced, but technically when you zoom in, you can see, ooh, you got to look really close. That blue crosses very briefly below our orange line and then peaks back up. Just take a look at what price action does after this cross. It's up and to the right. Let's go back to the last time before that, back in May of 2019. We get a cross and, oh, look at that, up and to the right. Let's scroll back here. Back over to December of 15. We get a cross and, oh, look at that. The price goes up and to the right. Oh, and let's go one more just for kicks and giggles. We get a cross in December. We get up and to the right. We get a quick retraction. Price comes back down to the 100, but then after that, up and to the right. So we're sitting here saying, oh my goodness. Got a lot of bullish indicators right now when we're looking at these larger time frames. Could Bitcoin be about to get back into a bull rally? I think so. Again, remember, guys, a lot of these charts, 6-month, monthly, and 5-day even. When you're looking at these charts, you're not talking about trying to predict what's happening over the next day or next week or even next maybe 2 months. All of these charts are kind of looking at helping us predict what's happening over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. And everything is flashing bullish at this point. Major reason why you guys should be excited. These are great levels to continue to DCA, continue to find good dips and good red days to buy in more, because the price in the macro is going up and to the right, and the evidence is overwhelming. Guys, it's 9:31. I think I'm going to go ahead and just not do some shorter term Bitcoin TA for right now. We're going to save that for Wednesday. Make sure you guys come back. I want to throw it over to Piper for a quick look at Ethereum. But make sure, guys, come back on Wednesday. We're going to talk. Something I want to go into depth on is not just the Bitcoin price, and then we're going to look at some other altcoins. I want to start taking a look at what these other altcoins are doing over Bitcoin. Because in case you guys are wondering, right here, we're seeing the Bitcoin dominance is down over the weekend. We actually dropped below 51%. We're down at 50.93. You'll notice probably one of the biggest reasons why is because Ethereum, that had been hovering around 19%, had popped up to about 20.25. In reality, right now, until the real bull market starts, and then we'll see the Bitcoin dominance fall, what's really important is following what is the Bitcoin price doing, what's Bitcoin dominance doing, and then when we're looking at altcoins, how are those altcoins responding, not over US dollar, but over the Bitcoin price itself. So make sure you guys stay tuned and continue to watch Investing Bros. Coming on Wednesday, after we're taking tomorrow off, we'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to do a lot of TA looking at altcoins over the Bitcoin price. Piper, are you seeing anything this morning special on Ethereum that you want to touch on very briefly? And then we're going to jump in. There's no stock market open this morning, but we got some headlines, we got some stories, and if we still have time left over, we'll do some more of that TA at the end.
No, I think we do have a stock market open today, Tim. I just don't think we have one tomorrow.
Oh, there's no stock market open. That's right. Okay. We do have stocks today. Never mind. I missed it.
Okay. Yeah, but I am going to keep this short and simple. I had talked to you guys that we were getting a lot of knocking going on here on the 887. We had the previous here, the previous here, the previous here. And I said on Friday morning that if we were able to punch above the 887 and show it as support, that we would be looking at more upside. We did have this crazy crash down in the morning of our live stream, and then immediate recovery that gave it all of the volume that it needed down here. Good bounce right on the 786 to the wick on the delta line of the predictive ranges. It punched up, came through that 887 of the platinum pocket, did a final retest on this auto printed chart pattern here for a rising wedge, and then bam, now we're sitting up here at 1964, currently going up as high as 1975. Now we're just kind of consolidating here. I think we're going to make another bull flag here. If we do come back and test, watch for the top here of this trade band of the predictive ranges, possibly a wick down to the 887 here. But exactly what we were talking about on Friday is what happened. The Sheldon effect. The more times you knock, the more likely you're going to break through. When we got all of this volume come in down here from buying pressure, that was all it took for us to get right on up above that 887 there and make some room. I will point out a couple of things that I am seeing right now, though. Firstly, we do have the cloud on the oscillator starting to get a little tight after getting this downtrend arrow. That's why I was pointing out that there is a possibility we come back to retest the upper trade band or possibly the 887 with a wick down to there. It is looking a little bearish right now on the oscillator. However, looking at the trend fusion oscillator, which by the way, pulls its data from completely different data sources in the algorithm. This has money flow coming up on the MFI, and we are looking green on the trend here. It looks like it might curve a little bit and then maybe come back up, but I won't be truly bullish about that until I see how this plays out here on the Oscillator Pro. Looking at the RSI Prime sitting well above the 70% here, and it does look like we are starting to get the fast mover curving on the top here on the normalized MACD. So, and it does look like the histogram's starting to cool off. So I won't be surprised if in the next 24 to 48 hours we see a little pullback on Ethereum. But overall, things are looking quite bullish. Pull over to the daily here, and you can see that right now the daily candle absolutely kicking it past this previous doji that we had here going on. So, yeah, I mean, still bullish, still looks bullish to me. So, MACD histogram starting to come up. Fast mover still looking good. RSI just hitting that 70. We can still come up quite a bit over that. I'm looking sometime by this next weekend, possibly hitting $2,000 and pushing that to support on this previous one-to-one line back here. So that's what I'll be watching for in the daily. Breaking that 2,000, possibly 2,100 up here at the Delta line. We do have a breakout here that even though we come down still, it is still in play. That's going to be hitting right here in the order block also. So I think by next week we might see 2,000 to $2,100, but don't be surprised if we get a little pullback to give us another test of that 1925 area. So.
Bada boom. Dan T just said this is one of the most underrated crypto channels on YouTube. Awesome content. Dan T, I tend to agree. Thank you so much though for those kind words and that special shout out. I also saw a special shout out to, I think I saw Tony D in chat at one point. The brand manager for Frankie, who soon should be, and if he's still watching, Tony, you're gonna be on the channel very soon. On Frankie's, and you're gonna come on this channel. I want people to hear you and see you. Smelling you is a little much. I don't want people to do that. That's why we're gonna keep you on
Smell-o-vision.
but I'm so excited. Shout out to Tony and Frankie. Love you guys. Whew, man, it is time to go and transition though into our market open with T Shroom. Again, I misspoke. I don't know. We were talking about it pre-show. Tomorrow morning it's not open, but it is open today. What are we seeing so far, T Shroom, on the stock market front? Because it is now 9:37, meaning we've been open for about 7 minutes. Take it away.
All right. Well, we're seeing a lot. We're seeing a big spike in Tesla. Tesla is moving the market higher this morning. It's got a big gap up this morning of 6.5%. Whether or not that'll retrace is yet to be seen, but it is moving in the right direction and it's taking the rest of the market with it. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the indexes before we get too ahead of ourselves here. The Nasdaq is up 0.2%, and then the S&P and Dow Jones are down about 0.08% each. So energy coming in, natural gas coming in much lower, and then U.S. oil coming in slightly higher, up 0.4% there. So energy mixed, and I believe there was actually a oil headline that should be bringing oil prices a little higher here, moving into the later part of the year here. But taking a look at crypto, it's pretty mixed, but mostly green, I'd say. Litecoin cooling down quite a bit here, making a move lower. But look how high. Look at this run that it's had. It's had some big green candlesticks. I'm on the weekly chart. Let's keep looking here, though. AGIX up 5%, getting bought. And so is FET.ai. So the AI crypto is getting bought this morning. And then Bitcoin and Ethereum both up. Bitcoin barely up, barely holding on to that green status. But you can feel the bullishness in the air. You can feel kind of a lot of alts getting bought, and maybe not as much Bitcoin this morning. But Pepecoin up 12%, as we talked about. And then both of your metals, gold and silver, up. Silver up a little bit more this morning, up 0.7% there. So your mega cap tech stocks are all trying to catch up with Tesla this morning, which is just a crazy flex there from Tesla. We'll get to exactly why they are up so much in just a few minutes here, but Microsoft, Apple, and Google having some liquidity rotation more than likely out of those names and on into Tesla. The money's got to be coming from somewhere, guys. That's just my prediction. Oracle doing the same thing, down 1%. Again, maybe a rotation out of those names and into Tesla. Well, your bonds are mixed. The earlier dates yields are coming up, which is actually a bad sign yet again. And then your older dates, including the 10-year benchmark, yields are coming down. So yeah, continuing to just extend that yield curve as the younger dates. 5%, guys, on a 3-month note, and then 5.4 on a 6-month. So those younger dates continuing to be more attractive with the perverse incentives. Dixie green, but only barely. Let's take a look here at your mid-cap tech stocks with C3.ai barely moved, up 0.5%, but Coinbase ripping up this morning, up 6.6%. Somehow I missed this, but this is pretty big, guys. Here, it's actually up more than Tesla. So, Coinbase seeing some nice movement to the upside. I believed I closed my position in Coinbase. I'm kind of curious now. I'm pretty sure I closed it Friday, which is unfortunate because I'll miss out on that upside. But here you go. Your big banks are green across the screen with Citibank leading, and then your oil producers are up across the board with ExxonMobil leading. That's going to be your market open here, guys. Seeing just a general rotation into risk. Although your Apple, Microsoft, and Google were getting sold off this morning. But crypto green, and it's mainly the alts. And mainly Ethereum is getting bought pretty heavily there, up 1.5%. So that's your quick market open and market summary, guys. Let's go ahead and get into the community section.
Yeah. Well, real quick before we transition, we're gonna just so everyone knows here. Someone asked in chat, "Are you guys going to talk about Gary Gensler? What happened with Gary Gensler? Is he actually resigning?" We're gonna open up headlines talking about that briefly, and then we're gonna jump into a couple headlines. So stay tuned. Again, smash that like button. We got 120 people watching, or they were just watching here a second ago. Still only 94 likes. Let's get over 100 likes here within the next 2 seconds. I don't know. Gotta catch you guys up, but there's literally like 35 or 40 of you who have not smashed that like button, and you can do it for the free price of free. In community headlines, who do we have coming on Wednesday? That's our first one I want to talk about. We will be back on Wednesday after taking tomorrow off. So I guess that's the first community update there, guys. No show tomorrow morning, 4th of July. We're going to be eating hamburgers, according to the chat, because T-Shroom is just wrong. Only 19% say hot dogs, T-Shroom. So maybe you need to change your lunch plans and get some hamburgers thrown in there. Who's coming on Wednesday? I completely forgot.
Yeah, I've got a graphic up on my screen. James Pelton is going to be on the show. He's joining Investing Bros July 5th. It's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to come on and talk about his grip strength. He's going to talk about whatever, is going on there. More than likely, we're going to talk about like Fed rate hikes. We're going to be talking about the halving for Litecoin and Bitcoin and a lot of good stuff. Probably a little bit of TA as well, to be sure. So that's going to be coming up Wednesday.
He's a big stock guy too. We were actually on Crypto Gym Hunters together. So great guy. Cool. That's how we met him. So big stock guy.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, some other headlines we have tonight. There's something special happening. Piper, are you doing anything tonight around the time of, I don't know, 3:00 your time, 5 p.m. our time?
I am. I will be doing Around the Blockchain tonight.
Ew.
So jump in there, drop those +1s. Let's get this win for the Investing Bros. So I'll be doing that tonight, and I've actually got 3 other dates this month. So hey, I appreciate it, Eric Wallen, on that $10 super chat there. Happy retirement, Army Piper. Congratulations. Grow that beard out now. I still don't know if I'm going to grow the beard out. I really don't. I let it get a little, then it gets scratchy, and I don't know.
We'll get you some Rogaine you can rub on your chin.
I'll tell you what, Piper, whenever I shave, when I go to drill, I'll give you my beard. I'll mail it to you.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'll just keep adding it to gluing it on and adding it together. Shout out to the Elo Brown. Elo Brown sent me a message this weekend and was celebrating that he bought the lifetime Chart Prime. So
come on.
He's now a Chart Prime lifer, and he's going to hang out with me forever. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a good kind of segue into the last announcement that I know of that we're announcing here during community. We got some other things coming, but we'll wait on those announcements. But I believe, Piper, I'm going to throw it to you for the fullest, but I believe this is starting next week. What update are we doing here on the channel that involves Chart Prime and trading tips and tricks and updates? What are we doing?
So 1 week from today, Monday, July 10th, I believe is the date. I will be starting an afternoon live stream that I will be doing some technical analysis and looking at charts, showing, giving updates on my trades, and basically hanging out with whoever wants to come and hang out with me. It's going to be a pretty laid back, not overly structured. Might go over any type of news that just popped out, between our morning show and that. But overall, it's going to be me, the charts, and your like buttons being hit. That's it. So
there we go.
It's awesome.
Speaking of like buttons being hit.
Yeah, do it.
Let's make it happen.
Well,
Yep, do that. Do
guys,
that thing. Do that.
it's time to go ahead and transition into our headlines. And before we jump into those actual stories, let's start off here. I'm going to start this one off, T-Shirt, and then you're going to take it over when we get into the stories. Let's start off with this whole sherbacle about good old Gary Gensler. Yes, there were rumors put out over the weekend, and yes, they were very fun to discuss. And yes, for a brief second, we all were rejoicing. In case you didn't know, there were rumors that Gary Gensler was going to be resigning. There was an anonymous source from within the SEC saying that we were going to see Gary Gensler resign. It was just a rumor, guys. It is not true. In fact, I think that Ben's going to be talking about a little bit more on his show today. He was actually discussing with some sources he has inside the SEC. Yeah, definitely. There's definitely not going to be a resignation. If for some reason Gary leaves, it sounds like it will not be of his own volition, which is what a resignation is. So we still have some hope that Gary will be gone soon, guys. But in case you were hoping for that to happen today or tomorrow or anytime soon, more than likely not. But this does kind of take us into a little thing. I want to kind of give some advice here, because this was one of the main channels that people saw. Go ahead and share my screen. This one right here. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I used to actually watch this page and get some of my information. I used to be like, oh, like, look at that, breaking news. This guy's saying that this is happening. Whale chart. Listen. He says he's the number one account to follow for the latest insights and contrarian opinions. If contrarian means made up and false, then yes. Yes, that is very true. Something I've learned, guys, following, in case any of you guys do follow him, and if you follow him, that's fine. I don't care. You know what? I'll refollow him just because I support following people on Twitter. But I want you guys to understand, when you see something from him, unless you see somebody else back it up, more than likely, guys, it is false. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen breaking news from this guy, from Whale Chart, and it's either a story that's like 6 months old, or it's a completely made up rumor. This guy's got 341,000 subscribers or followers. This is Twitter we're talking about, so it's followers. Good, decent following, but he got, like, I mean, you guys are looking at engagement. You know, he'll get like 23,000, 6,000, 31,000. He'll get some decent engagement. Got to go past that picture really quickly. 62. Look at that, 200K on this story right here. Breaking: anonymous official SEC has reportedly disclosed the chairman, Gary Gensler, is going to resign following an internal investigation. 1.7 million people engaged with this. That was his goal. This guy, I don't want to say he doesn't mean well. I feel like he wants to help the crypto space, but unfortunately, I believe he's just chasing this number right here. And you know what? A headline like this, a tweet like this will get you 1.7 million views. Want to know why? Because it's made up, but it's what everyone wants to see. I've just learned you cannot, if you guys follow or listen to Whale Chart, please double check your information. Anything that he says, make sure someone else says it too. I'm not saying 100% of what he says is false. Some things he say are true, but the only way to know it's true is because somebody else did it as well. And another thing I've noticed, he never posts a source. He never tells us where he's getting his information from. He just puts breaking and then some words below it. There's no way to know for real if it's actually happening. And again, I'm telling you guys, more often than not, it's not the truth, or it's super, super old. So that's a little bit of a Twitter help for you guys. Again, if you want to follow him, that's fine. I unfollowed. I just followed him back just because I want to be a nice guy. But please don't go spreading rumors that you see on Whale Chart, because more often than not, it's just not true. That's our little Gary Gensler section, guys. Again, we'll let you know if anything concrete comes out, because there are things that are happening that would imply that hopefully very soon, you can go off my screen, go back to Brocam here, Piper. There are things that are happening that would imply potentially Gary's reign could be coming to an end, but it's not a resignation, and it probably is not within the next couple of weeks. It's probably going to be a longer, drawn-out series of events that finally get us rid of old Gary Gensler. Before I move on, I know it's 9:50. We have a couple stories. Any thoughts, Piper, T-Shirt, you guys have on that before we move on?
No,
I was excited, and then I was greatly disappointed. That's it.
Yep. Same. All right.
Well, let's get into the news.
Let's do it. So Ethereum's DeFi heavyweights, Compound and Maker, soared overnight. That would be last night. They did really well. I brought this up just to kind of read the headline. But there are alts doing well. We saw it in the market open. We're seeing it in the headlines. 30 days and 7 hours till the Litecoin halving, guys. Usually the price action is a move up. We've already seen a big move up for Litecoin. Just a move up into the halving, and then in the halving usually sells off pretty good. Whereas with Bitcoin, there's 288 days to go with Bitcoin, and the price action is definitely different. We've covered that in depth on the show. Here we go. Crypto ATM firm Bitcoin Depot will go public on NASDAQ starting today. So be keeping a lookout for that. Let me see if I can find so the ticker here is GSRM. So it looks like it's doing it through a SPAC. So oh no, I'm sorry. It'll be trading as BTM. So
I was getting ready to correct that. Good.
Yeah, the SPAC is GSRM. So BTM is the one to look for if you wanted to invest in that. Guys, I've done zero research on the actual guts of this business, but it's just kind of exciting to see another company become SEC compliant that is from the crypto world. Here's the big story of the day, guys. We covered it in the market open, seeing Tesla.
Elon Musk can dance is the big story.
Yeah, well, I don't know that he can. It's definitely not proven in this clip, at least. But
Tesla, I didn't say dance well. I just said he can dance. There's a difference.
It's true. Q2 23 deliveries are up 83% year over year, crushing expectations, and the price is reflecting that this morning in trading. But it's not all. The stock market also got some very big excitement from last week. Apple's market cap closed above 3 trillion for the first time ever. Very, very big deal there for Apple. And then I've got a chart here, a table actually showing kind of the current market caps. You go to coin market cap, you see Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether on down the line. But here you see Apple, Microsoft, and Saudi Aramco, which is the Saudi oil company, and then Google, and then Amazon, Nvidia, Tesla, Berkshire, Meta, TSMC, the chip maker, Visa, and then this French fashion company conglomerate thing, and then on down the line. But yeah, Apple, 3 trillion. First company to do it. Very impressive. My bet was that Microsoft was going to do it, but c'est la vie. Moving on, we've got a chart here showing some very bullish outlook for the S&P. S&P 500 returns are mostly positive after a strong first half. There are only a few exceptions where it broke even, and then back in 1929 is the only year with negative annual return after a strong first half. That's coming to you from at bar charts. At bar charts, definitely growing on me. It's a small channel. Let's see, only has 83,000 followers. So, if you're looking for some good charts about that, you can follow them. And then the last one here, Piper shot me this one. First half of 2023 ranked of the performance of major global asset benchmarks. Guys, this is just a victory lap for today. This is just some hopium to supercharge your trading for the rest of today and this week. And that is Bitcoin up 83%. The next best is the NASDAQ, which is up 31%. Not bad. Not bad at all. Gold only up 5%. And going on down the line, you can see nothing comes even close to Bitcoin, especially poor old natural gas down 37% on the year. So as you can see, guys, pretty rough market for some other assets, but not for Bitcoin, up 83%. It's going to round out our stories this morning, guys. Definitely a lot of interesting stuff happening moving into the week. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more things happening later in the week. So that's their market story headlines. Gotta love it.
T-Shroom, you said Piper shot me, and you would not be the first person to say that. So,
and I won't be the last.
Ooh.
Now that you're retired,
hopefully you are. No, hopefully you are the last.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, I want you to be the last.
Because if you're not the last, now that he's no longer in the military, that would put him into prison, unless it's self-defense, I guess. So, but still, I hope you don't have to self-defend yourself. And that is the last person to say that.
No, I went easy peasy, nice and easy. So,
yeah. What's crazy about the last story we were talking about, T-Shroom, we discussed this pre-show, but it's funny because I bet you a lot of people watching this channel, crypto people, are like, yeah, but what about if you were to go look at Ethereum, or if you were to go look at this other coin, or if you were to look at all these? I mean, we talk about it all the time. I said Tesla's up more this year than Bitcoin is. But that's not how everyone looks at it. There's a lot of people who just look at the really, really big commodities and equities, and they don't want to touch anything that's small. They want very safe investments. To them, it's like if they could get their portfolio to go up 10% a year, that's a great scenario for them. So with that, I think the reason why I want to kind of hark on that chart that T-Shim showed to let you guys know the significance, because again, us crypto people know that's really not that significant. That chart is going to cross the path and the eyeballs of a lot of people who look to invest in these very simple assets, and they will see that and be floored and say, man, is Bitcoin a safe investment? And if Bitcoin gets labeled a safe investment, watch that. When we talk about the $11 trillion market cap of Bitcoin coming at some point to match that of the market cap of gold, it's because of those types of things. When Bitcoin gets considered safe, when Bitcoin is thrown into the same breath as the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 and gold and silver, and that's when you know, all right, a lot of people are going to feel very comfortable and confident in throwing their money into Bitcoin rather than these other equities. Piper,
Do you know?
looks like you have a thought.
Yeah. Do you know? Do you know what else has outperformed Bitcoin for this year from the bottom to the top?
There's a lot.
My
But
military career.
Micro strategies.
Oh, okay.
172% from its bottom. So there you go.
Nice.
Now that's actually kind of curious. Why are they
Yeah.
getting too much more alpha on that?
Easier on ramp to the population. I have actually watched MicroStrategy for a long time. I've told a lot of people, like, look, if you're wanting to get easy on ramp into exposure of crypto, just buy MicroStrategy at the bottom, and it's absolutely been playing out. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, and then you just do the math on this, guys. Like, I know we didn't get to talk about this. We didn't get to close it because Friday morning, we were hit live on air with the update from the SEC that Bitcoin's ETFs from BlackRock and ARK and Fidelity and all the others were inadequate, right? So we didn't get to kind of close that story. I'm sure a lot of you guys watched on other channels. They kind of closed it. Just so you guys know, it's actually it's a delay, and it's kind of what we thought it was. I've actually, in discussion with a lot of different people, they agree with us about that thought of, was this the SEC's play to have a reason to not give ARK the ETF first? Watch them. There's a chance someone made a point. I can't remember who I was talking to. They said maybe they approve all of them on the exact same day. Maybe they give them all the same start. Guess who wins? If everybody gets approved on the same day, guess who will win that? BlackRock. Very, very easily. That's all that they need to happen. Pretty much
my portfolio.
In case you guys didn't know, though, I'm saying a lot of generalizations here. In case you guys had not heard, the inadequate statement from the SEC was pretty much just saying, hey, reword some things, resubmit your document, let us know who's going to be kind of controlling the money, and then
it was the surveillance.
Yes, which doesn't make sense. Kelly said this. Speaking of Kelly, guys, go watch Kelly on BitLab Academy here in a little bit. He made a great point. He's like, I don't understand where they're coming at BlackRock for this, because BlackRock made it very clear they were using Coinbase. So not really certain why they got denied. But again, I'm fairly certain that the reason everyone was denied was the grand excuse to have a resubmission so that ARK was no longer first in line, so that they could at least, at worst, give all of them the approval at the same time. At best, though, more than likely, I would expect to see BlackRock approved first before everybody else. That just seems to be what Larry Fink. That's what Larry Fink definitely wants, and Larry Fink gets what he wants more often than not. Guys, it's 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means that is the end of today's show. And again, we will not be here tomorrow morning. So make sure you guys, go spend time with your family on the 4th of July. If you're from England, go spend time studying military operations to maybe win the next war and not lose to a very small country at the time. And the rest of you guys, we will see you on the 5th. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Love you guys. You guys have a great day.
Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that batter to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.